Hey, it's Mr. Scoppa here with your first update for 2016. It's amazing that, we're already in 2016, which means that I believe it's 17 weeks of school that we've been through now, and we are just moving forward, and the weather's been cold, it's been warm, it's been snowy, it's been not snowy, all sorts of stuff. So my first thing to talk about is please, please, please make sure that your kiddos are dressed appropriately for the outdoor weathers. Jackets are really important. Hats and gloves are important. They can leave their boots in the hallway. If you want to send them in with a pair of snow pants, that's up to you. And if you want them to keep it here, that's up to you. They've got a hook that they can hang it on right over there. So that's all possible. But know that we do go out for recess, assuming that the weather is okay for it, but kids need to be dressed appropriately. Earlier in the year, there was a sheet that went home about recess policy and the idea of being dressed appropriately for if a kid comes in with just a hoodie on, that's not really a good thing, because then they end up wearing the hoodie all day, so then as soon as they go outside, it's not going to give them any sort of a help with the temperature, and because their bodies become used to that temperature differential, and so when they go out and have a big change in temperature, their body core doesn't really react well with it. So please keep that in mind. Please make sure that they come here with the appropriate things. I always tell kids they gotta wear their jackets. Hats and gloves are a really important thing, because obviously I don't want anybody coming in from recess with a little hypothermia. That would make it for a bad lunch period. So let's see, in math we just finished up our geometry unit. We're going to be switching gears and going into some larger numbers with adding and subtracting and things like that, and thinking about what's the difference between thousands and 100,000s and millions, and really think about those larger numbers at this point. So that's going to be a change. In ELA, they've with Mr. Fundus, they've changed their focus from going from the idea of the Iroquois and focusing on that. They're moving into the colonial time period now, and so they'll be doing lots of things with that, and they'll be learning about apprenticeships and what it's like for the different jobs, and just how much life has really changed from the colonial time period, when there obviously wasn't any electricity or things like that, to now. And so they can really kind of look at that, and they can also see the differences between the two societies of the Iroquois that they looked at then, and now the colonial period that they're looking at now. And so that's something that they'll really be able to identify some differences as they go through. ARs, they need to be taking those AR tests. I've got one student that is heads and tails above everybody else, but that's just that's not normal. So if one of your kids comes home and goes, "Hey, somebody's got it," yes, I have a very high number for one of my students in my class. But remember that they are working towards 25 by the end of April or early May for the idea of an incentive. We're going to be having an incentive coming up where they've hit the target goal for that. They'll be able to participate in the activities. If not, we're going to have some opportunities for them to work on some other AR books to get some of those tests up. So remember, when I went through in conferences and talked about where your kids were, I talked about the bottom of that second page of the report card where it had their AR books down at the bottom, and there was a target number. So please have them really pushing towards those targets. Really, at this point, they should be, with 17 weeks down, and really kind of looking at it as like an idea of 34 weeks, they should be at 12, 13-ish at this point, especially with the idea of, they've got their reading log for 20 minutes every night that they should be reading. And so they should be choosing books on their level for that. So please encourage them to read. They can take those AR tests at home. Just go to the district homepage, drop down to the intermediate school over on the left-hand side of the screen. There's the spot that says especially for students. They click on that. Accelerated Reader's the first link. They can take those quizzes at home, but for them to count, they got to get 80% or higher, so that's an important thing. So with that, I hope all of you have a good weekend. It's good to be back, and it's good to have it be 2016. And just remember that your child's student is a teacher by day and a Jedi by night. With that, have a good night.